Hi guys, Squirrel here. Today we've been sent some more equipment from TUF Gaming, which is a sub-brand of ASUS. We've got this keyboard, headset and mouse, and a custom-built TUF Gaming PC. Now this PC is built entirely using components from the TUF Gaming Alliance. The TUF Gaming Alliance is an umbrella of PC components from big brands that are designed to work with each other. Not just aesthetically, but also compatibility. They are stress tested with each other. So if you're building a PC, you can use TUF Gaming Alliance components and be confident that they're going to work with each other. So first we're going to take a look at the specs in this PC build, then we'll take a look at the peripherals, and finally we'll put it through its paces and see how it performs. To start with, this is the TUF Gaming GT501 case, and it's quite a nice, well thought out case with plenty of interior space and lots of options in terms of how you might want to customize this. The case itself is a solid metal construction. On the top are two grab handles, two straps. In terms of cooling, we have 320mm LED fans down the front and one 140mm LED fan at the back. If you wanted to do a water cooling solution, there's plenty of space at the top of the case and at the front of the case for two radiators. And they've even thought about down here, there's a cover that you can pop open here, and you can have your water cooling tank under there and then just have the pipes coming out the top there. So this thing can take either air cooling or radiator water cooling, your choice, it's your build. Down at the bottom of the case, you've got this cover which masks out the PSU and also the water cooling tank. Cable management's been thought of as well. Around the back of the case is a 30mm gap that you can run all your cabling. So as you can see on this build, it's very difficult to see the cabling, just a little bit at the top there as they just dive down the back of the case. And finally at the top is a removable air filter and the same thing down at the front, so you can quickly just pop those filters out, get rid of the dust, pop them back in again. Inside this particular build we've got the TUF Gaming Z390 Plus gaming motherboard. The motherboard itself can cope with i7 processors from Intel 8th or 9th generation. In this build we've got a 9th generation 9700K CPU. Now the motherboard has two slots for M2 SSDs. They're the super fast SSDs. We're not using M2 drives on this build. Instead what we have are normal SSDs. These are T-Force Delta RGB lit SSDs, and there are three of them in this build. Now what I've done inside Windows is I've striped all three of these drives into a single drive, which gives us better performance. Now for memory, the T-Force VULCAN RAM, there's two 8GB chips in there, but there are actually two more slots, so we could double that if we wanted to, all the way to 32GB of TUF Gaming RAM. In terms of graphic capabilities, this build has an RTX 2060 graphics card. Unusually, it's fitted in a vertical aspect. Personally though, I wouldn't build it this way. I would rotate it back and put it back into its normal extension slot. And the reason I do that is because as it stands, if I wanted to fit more cards into the extension slots, this is going to sit right over the top of them and limit what I can do. If you don't want to fit cards, you could fit it this way because aesthetically it looks a lot tidier. And finally, in terms of cooling the CPU, we have the Coolermaster MasterAir MA620P. This is a pretty unusual cooler. It actually has two radiator towers and twin fans in a push-pull configuration. So what we've got here is a really good mid-budget build. We've got a nice 9th gen Intel i7. We've got a 2060 graphics card, which is RTX compatible. We've got 16GB of RAM, and we've got 3 SSDs. Now you don't have to use TUF Gaming Alliance components. You could quite easily take that 2060 out of here and pop in an ASUS one. You could take those SSDs out of here and put in some Samsung ones. It's up to you. But the TUF Gaming brand is designed to look and work with each other. Now if you're building a TUF Gaming PC, you will of course want some peripherals. You could use your favourite peripherals, or you could look at some of the TUF Gaming stuff, and they've got some interesting peripherals. Let's start out by looking at the TUF Gaming K7 keyboard. So this is the keyboard, full length keyboard, full numeric keypad, and then you've got this soft leatherette wrist rest. Interesting thing about this is it's magnetic. So it just clicks on like that, but when you don't want it, it's completely removable. I kind of like that. If you remember when we looked at the video, the TUF Gaming Peripherals, I did a K5 keyboard. The K5 is cheaper than this. This is definitely a higher quality keyboard than the K5. If you're on a budget, the K5 is definitely a better option. The K7 has a removable pad, the K5 doesn't. And this thing has I think they're called optomechanical key presses. So this is my Claymore, this is a mechanical keyboard. This is optomechanical. What that means is when you press a key down, it actually breaks a beam of infrared light and then actuates. So it doesn't have the kind of delay that is associated with a mechanical keyboard where it has to wait in case you get a rebound effect. Each key is individually lit, so it's full RGB, fully programmable, just like the Claymore is. So this is definitely a high-end keyboard. The TUF Gaming M5 Mouse and the TUF Gaming P3 Mousepad. Now this is the same mouse that we reviewed in the TUF Gaming video previously, so this hasn't changed, but this is new. So there you go, TUF Gaming Mousepad, which is branded TUF Gaming, and the M5 mouse, which we previously reviewed in another video. Decent mouse, a little bit small for my hand, but I have a big hand, but definitely a very compact mouse. The new TUF Gaming H7 wireless headset. Now there are actually three versions of the H7. There's the USB 2 version, which is 7.1 dynamic sound. Then you've got the 3.5mm jack version, which is the H7 Core. And then you've got this one, the H7 wireless, which contains a little USB dongle that you plug into your PC. And then this sits wirelessly on your head. USB charger, USB dongle, and a detachable boom arm microphone. Initial impressions, it reminds me a little bit of another headset that I use from ASUS, which has this kind of spring-loaded suspension system, as opposed to the other way of doing it where you have the extendable arms coming out the side. This uses a tension-based system. So it has a USB port on the bottom, so this is where you would use to charge it up. Box says it has a 15-hour battery life on it. It also has a detachable boom arm. On the side are some controls here, on and off, microphone mute, and a volume control down the side there. So you've got the basics, everything you need. Fits quite comfortably over my head. This is compatible with PC, Mac, PlayStation 4, and Xbox and Nintendo Switch, so it's got a lot of compatibility. But the best thing about it is the yellow trim matches the squirrel hat. Now as you can see on the ASUS AuraSync software, we've set our colour to the squirrel gold, and we've got it set up on the keyboard, the mouse, the SSDs, the motherboards. They all synchronise together with whatever colour you set. You can set it to static colours, breathing colours, rainbow patterns, or just turn it all off. It's up to you. Right, let's now stress test this PC and see how it performs on our favourite simming games. Before we start testing with the games, I want to run a benchmarking test. 3D Mark make a bunch of tests that we can run. One of them is called Time Spy. It's a DirectX 12 test that's very intensive. It puts the graphics card and the CPU to work and then goes online and compares it against what other users have done with various builds. Right, so Time Spy's done its thing. It's gone online, compared the results to other PCs. It pitches us just above a 4K gaming PC, a score of 7051. For this price range, mid-PC range, that's quite respectable. Right, we've done the benchmarking, let's move on to the gaming. Right, first test has to be Euro Truck, so I've got it installed and running. I'm just going to use a controller to steer because I don't have time to set the wheel up for this test. Stick the headset on and we'll see what kind of frames we get. So I'm in the cab and looking around, I'm getting 144 FPS, which is the frame rate of my monitor. It's buttery smooth. Let's take a little drive. Frame rates drop down to 136. For most people who run a 60Hz monitor, this is not a problem. We've got it set on ultra settings as well. So 1080 ultra settings, and we're not getting less than 120 FPS. That's pretty good. Yeah, headset's working well, sound is pretty good. I don't have a cable dangling over me. I'm not used to a wireless headset, but they are pretty nice to have if you can work it into your setup. So yeah, Euro Truck works pretty well on this, but you know, you kind of expect it to. It's not a demanding game, so I think we should probably jump onto something a little bit more demanding now. Project Cars 2 is pretty well known as being graphically intensive racing game. I've gone through all the settings. I've maxed everything out, put it all on ultra or high wherever possible, and we're going to do an evening race. I am using my controller, so don't judge my racing, but we're here to test out the frame rates and what kind of performance we're going to get out of this PC. Okay, we're at the Nürburgring, we're in dry conditions. and we are getting 100 FPS. When you add light rain, it drops down to sort of 90 or high 80s because you've got the spray to deal with and the water on the windscreen and that kind of thing. But in dry conditions like this, max settings, we're pushing 90 to 100 FPS, sometimes 120. So great performance for such a graphically intensive racing game. Right, we're in one of my favourite shooters, my favourite FPS game at the moment, Rainbow Six Siege, and I've added the FPS counter into the top left of the screen. I'm quite shocked actually. 200 FPS this thing is pushing. Bear in mind, my monitor's only 144 FPS and this thing is knocking out 200 FPS, and that's with high settings, so absolutely no performance problems on this game. Now, we've played a few games so far. We've played Racing Game, we've played Euro Truck Game, and now we're on an FPS game. Each game is optimized differently, has different performance benefits, performance demands, that kind of thing. So far, this PC is perfectly playable. On all of these games, perfectly playable. In terms of peripherals, headset is nice. I like the freedom of wireless. The mouse, like I've said before, a little bit too small for me, but if you don't have a big hand, it's not a problem. Keyboard, makes a little bit too much springy noise for my liking, but tactile, the feel is very nice. All in all, this build is a pretty good build, but do bear in mind that you can configure the build however you want.
We have been eliminated.
Oh no, I got killed by a bot. So, we've seen this particular build, we've seen how it performs. What are my final thoughts on the TUF Gaming Alliance? Well, if you're in the business of making your own PC, particularly if it's the first time you've made your own PC, it can be quite a daunting task. Trying to get all the different components to be compatible with each other can be tricky, and there's certainly a learning curve there. TUF Gaming Alliance kind of gives you a leg up in that respect. It simplifies it because the components are designed to work with each other and they've been tested with each other. And that's a good thing. But you can, of course, pick and choose. You can use TUF Gaming components and non-TUF Gaming components. Just make sure that you check compatibility if you're going to do that. So this particular build that we've got here with the 2060 card and the 9th gen i7, 16 gig of RAM, as you've seen, that is actually a very good build for the money. It's a good mid-range price point. You can of course change the internals a little bit if you want a hard drive, if you want SSDs, or even if you want the M2 drives, you want a bit more performance. You can of course choose your keyboard and mouse and headset, all down to your personal preference. But at this price point, this represents a good PC for the money. If you want a link to the TUF Gaming Alliance stuff, there's a link in the video description, and please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Until the next one, take care guys, and happy building.